Now we'll go over course settings. Course settings are extremely important, and they are the last thing that you should look at and make changes to before you publish your course. So on the course navigation, we'll come down to the very last selection, which is Settings. It will bring you to the course details page. Now note, there's section settings, navigation settings, apps, and feature options. Let's go over the course details first. The image, should you choose to use one, is what will appear in the course tile on yours and your student's dashboard. It's really simple to do. You just choose an image and upload one from your computer, or use Unsplash, which is a copyright-free gallery of images. This is a communications course, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the word communications and see what comes up. If I don't like any of these, take note, there's next page. There may be several pages that you can go through to choose an image. And maybe I like this one for whatever reason. If I decide once I pull it in there that I really don't like it, I can always change it. Anytime that you see these 3 dots in a row vertically, you know that there's more options. So I can choose another image or remove the image altogether. The course name and the course code comes in from our DataTel colleague system and can't be changed. We don't use Blueprint courses here, so don't worry about that. The time zone, since Carson-Newman is in the Eastern time zone, is set to Eastern time. However, if you're teaching a cohort of students that are, say, all in Nashville, you may want to change that time zone. Here is where it gets extremely important for you to understand. The course dates come in automatically from our colleague system. Why they come in at 8 p.m., we can only guess that that's the Greenwich time. So in colleague, it's set for the term to start August 19th, which is exactly the first day that classes begin in 2020. However, it's set to end December 9th at 8 p.m. Well, actually, commencement this year in 2020 is December 11th. So that's a whole day that your students will not be able to access this course if dates are not changed. But before we even change them here, realize that the section dates mean more even than these dates. So it's highly suggested that you change them in both spots. If yours is an all online class, the rule of thumb is to open at least 4 days before the beginning of the term. So I'm going to go ahead and open this class on the 16th, and I'm going to make sure that it's open first thing on the 16th, because we don't know when anybody's day actually starts. And I certainly don't want to end my course before commencement. And actually, I like to give my students at least another week so that they can get in there and maybe pull some assignments in or look at some grades that they wouldn't be able to see any other place. So I'm going to end this particular course on the 19th. And again, instead of 8 p.m., which seems sort of random, I'm going to end it at 11:59, because if I was to put 12, it would put it at noon, right? 12 p.m. So 11:59 p.m. and done. Now we're not exactly done. Anytime that you make changes, you must come down and update the page before you move on to the next page. So let's go over to sections and look at the dates there. At first glance, it doesn't look like there are any dates on this page. Carson-Newman uses their course sections just like a course. So you need to actually open by clicking on its title. And we see that August 19th, 8 p.m., December 9th, 7 p.m. is what's set here. We need to edit this selection. And we want to make these dates and times the same as our course details page. So again, I'm going to start this at 12 a.m. and I'm going to end it at least a week later, and again at 11:59. And I can select here, students can only participate in the course between these dates. And I want to talk a little bit more about that, but let's go ahead and update now our section. You don't see the time change here yet, but if we go back to settings, and if we were to look back under there, we see now that the dates were changed. So let's go back to settings and go back to our course details page because there's some more important things there. Now we've already said students can only participate in the course between the dates that were on the section. So you don't necessarily have to check this, but you can. These are the two more important ones. Participation means they can't submit anything, such as a discussion post or a homework assignment, but it doesn't prevent them from viewing it unless these two are checked. So if you don't check this, the students can still view the course even though they can't participate it after the end date. I don't like my students to be able to do that, so I'm going to make sure I select that. You may not want them to view the course before the start date because you're just building it and you may have accidentally published it. The next selection is language, and it defaults to US English because that's what Carson-Newman defaults to. However, if you're teaching a language course, you may want to switch your course into one of the many languages available here inside this option. The file storage is 2,000 megabytes, which is 2 gigabytes, and usually is plenty of space for most courses. If, however, you get a message that you have run out of space, email odl@cn.edu or ithelpdesk@cn.edu, and we'll be glad to take care of that for you. The next one, the launch speed grader filtered by student group, we're not going to get into today. At a later date, we may explore that. This next choice is extremely important. Enable course grading scheme. The default scheme that Canvas uses has a lot of minuses and pluses in it. Carson-Newman doesn't offer minuses and pluses in their courses. Everything's in A, B, C, D, or F. So you have one of two options here. If I select the pencil, I can just make the changes right here and be done with it. However, you can also manage your grading schemes, and if I do that, I can add a new grading scheme. Okay, I'm not going to do that at this point. Unfortunately, to get back there, I have to hit settings again. And let's go back down to grading scheme and see our other option is select another grading scheme. So if you've managed one and created one, you can select one that you've created previously. At the administrative level, we have been creating grading schemes for whole departments. This one's for Family Consumer Sciences, but that doesn't prevent you from choosing it if you like that grading scheme. This is what it looks like. The more general grading scheme is just that. 100 to 90 is an A, where anything below a 60 is an F. So we're going to go ahead and for this course use this grading scheme and be done. Now remember, anytime you make a change, you should get in the habit of coming down here and updating your course details, or it doesn't stick. All courses are private and copyrighted by Carson-Newman. Okay, Carson-Newman owns the content of all the courses, so we're going to leave that one alone. And again, no need to choose the next one. However, visibility is very important. You'll see that there are 3 options. You have course visibility, institution, and public. Normally, your courses will come in automatically set to course. However, if you select to import the course template, it will switch it to public. And public means just that. Anybody in the world would be able to access your course. All they would have to do is Google it. Course will allow only the students or the teachers enrolled in the course to access it. Institution would allow anybody at Carson-Newman who has the URL to access it. So we're going to leave this at course. And then last, down here, let's just skip some of these. Down here are more options. And you'll notice that I've got this one checked at Show Recent Announcement on the course homepage. That is usually turned off when your courses come in. And what that means is if you give a course announcement, the only place that the students are going to see it is a number here and a little announcement icon on their dashboard. Really easy to miss. But if you select Show Recent Announcements on the course homepage, then when they enter your course, just like in Advanced 360, they'll be on the top. And you can select the number of recent announcements to show on the homepage. And I've spoke with a few students that have experienced Canvas, and they really hate it when the instructor selects 15. So 2 or 3 is usually optimal. There's some other selections there that you'll want to go through and make decisions for yourself. And we'll go ahead and update the course details. And now before we end this recording, I want to go over a few more things in the settings. We've gone through the sections, and you really don't need to do anything here except for changing that date. The navigation is talking about the links in the course that you want the students to be able to see. Now you'll notice that I've turned off assignments, discussions, files, pages, quizzes, outcomes, conferences, and collaborations in this particular course. That's because I like to lead my students through things through the modules. However, now that I know that my course will be either hybrid or all the way online, I might want to make sure I have conferences available. Collaborations is for group work. I'm not going to have any in this course, but I may want to have a conference with a few students. So to get that to be visible to the student, I come down here to the hidden links, find conferences, and push it up at the top. Okay, I might put it right underneath the Smart Thinking. Now when you see course evaluations, please leave those on there. They'll only show up when the evaluations are open at the end of the term. Now, I'm not going to gamify this course, so I don't need badges to show. So I'm going to take that and just sort of bring it down here. And with any changes in settings, make sure that you hit the Save or Update button. The apps are different apps that are available that integrate nicely with Canvas, and you may want to explore them, but we can go ahead at the administrative level, contact any person that you have that you know of. Let's say you work with this Vital Source. We can contact them for you and find out how we can integrate it easily for your whole department. Last are feature options. These are options that Canvas has implemented but has not mandated across the board. Now you'll notice the enabled dashboard images for courses. That's automatically turned on. That was a feature that they added and allowed optional for a while, and now it's just optional all the time. So that is really course settings, other than I would like to go through these links on the right-hand side. The Share to Commons, if you choose to share your course, remember you're sharing it only to Carson-Newman, because the Commons, we've turned off the availability to share your course to the world. You can access your student view from here to make sure everything looks all right. Course statistics right now has nothing in it because this course isn't being taught, but you will want to come back to that and explore that as you're teaching the course. Course calendar is just what it sounds like. It'll pop up the calendar and show you all the assignments that you've made due. Please, please, please do not select conclude this course. That's exactly what it sounds like. You'll notice the little lock. It will lock the course and ends it for everybody. On the same note, please don't delete the course. These are settings that we were unable to turn off at an administrative level, although we have requested from Canvas that in the future they put that option in. I'm going to skip course content for a second and go down to these others. Exporting course content is something that you would do if you want to put your course on, say, a jump drive and share it with another professor for them to be able to upload into their own sandbox or their own course. You don't have to do that. You could just contact IT Help Desk or ODL and we can be glad to copy that over for you. Reset course content is even worse than delete or conclude. It does exactly what it sounds like. It wipes your course clean. So please don't use that one. The last one I urge you to use quite often. It's validate your links. We know that we link to YouTube. We link to maybe some documents, some journals that are online for our students to read. Go ahead and use that course validation link. What it does is it goes through all the pages of your course and it checks each and every one of those links to see if they're still live. Now, if you've just built the course, they probably are great. But if you copy your courses over from term to term, it's one of the things that you need to do before you open the course. And this was quite a large course with a lot of links, so I'm going to see if I can pop back out of that. Last, the import course content. This is where you're going to go to do several things. You can copy your Canvas course, and you have the ability to copy your Canvas courses, past and sandboxes. The Canvas course export package, that's the exact same thing that we saw where you brought that in, or I'm sorry, you exported your course for another person. This is where they would bring this into their course. Now, these other options through here, most of them are used because a publisher might have course content for you to be able to upload, whether it be PowerPoint videos, whether it be quizzes, and they will tell you exactly what format that they use. They may use exclusively Blackboard export format. Well, good news is Canvas can import it very easily. And that's import courses, and that's course settings. I hope that you got a lot of valuable information out of this video. Thank you.